Did you know that in 2026, more seniors in the UK are being fined, warned, or even investigated than ever before? And not for anything you'd expect. From watching TV the wrong way to sharing a streaming password with their grandkids, thousands of older Britons are unknowingly breaking brand new laws that came into force this January. These aren't hardened criminals. We're talking about pensioners, grandparents, and elderly neighbors caught up in rules they didn't even know existed. Some have been fined for using cash, others penalized for missing digital deadlines, and a few have faced serious warnings just for standing outside in protest. Sounds unbelievable. It's happening right now. In this video, we're diving into 10 shocking new UK laws that are quietly turning everyday actions into criminal offenses, especially for seniors. If you think it couldn't happen to someone like your nan or granddad, think again. Number 1. Digital ID now mandatory. Starting in January 2026, the UK government has officially rolled out its digital identity mandate, a law requiring all citizens to use a verified digital ID to access public services. That includes essentials like NHS appointments, pension claims, housing benefits, and even renewing your driving license. For many, it's just a quick process on a smartphone or laptop. But for seniors, especially those unfamiliar with apps or who don't own digital devices, this law creates a massive barrier and potentially a legal trap. Imagine a pensioner missing their benefit deadline because they couldn't log in or verify their ID online. Under the new system, failure to use the digital portal on time can result in automated suspensions, denied services, or even financial penalties. One 82-year-old in Leeds reportedly lost access to her winter fuel payment simply because she didn't receive a reminder email, something she wasn't even aware she needed to check. What makes this even more concerning is that paper-based alternatives are being phased out fast, and exemptions are confusing or hard to find. Seniors who don't act quickly could be accused of non-compliance without ever realizing they've done anything wrong. Family members should check in and help set up digital IDs for their elderly loved ones as soon as possible. If you're not online savvy, don't wait. Go to your nearest library, post office, or council office for help. Because like it or not, digital identity is now the gatekeeper to basic services, and missing the digital train might just put you on the wrong side of the law. Number 2. TV license enforcement gets aggressive. In a move that's catching many elderly viewers off guard, the UK has tightened enforcement on TV license rules, and the consequences are hitting hard. Starting January 2026, unpaid TV licenses are now being tracked using automated bank data checks and cross-referencing government databases, meaning even a small oversight could trigger a warning, or worse, a hefty fine. While many seniors believe they're automatically exempt after a certain age, the truth is, the rules have changed. Exemptions must now be actively renewed or re-verified every year, and failing to do so can be treated as evasion. Take the case of Margaret, a 76-year-old widow from Birmingham, who thought she was still covered under her over 75 exemption. She had no idea the rules changed last year, requiring her to reapply under the pension credit guarantee. 2 months later, she received a £180 fine and a formal notice, leaving her confused, embarrassed, and afraid. Stories like Margaret's are becoming more common as enforcement ramps up and leniency disappears. The real problem is that these new systems assume everyone is tech literate and on top of policy updates. But many elderly Britons rely on printed letters, family reminders, or outdated information. With the BBC and licensing authorities pushing for digital correspondence only, seniors are at a clear disadvantage. To avoid legal trouble, families should help elderly loved ones confirm their current TV license status, especially if they're over 75 or receiving pension credit. Don't assume the exemption still applies. Check it, update it, and stay in the clay. Because now, what used to be a harmless misunderstanding is being treated as a serious offense. Number 3. Sharing posts can now be a crime. In a digital twist few saw coming, the UK's new Online Safety Act, activated in January 2026, has introduced strict penalties for sharing false or misleading information on social media, even if the user had no idea it was inaccurate. While the law aims to crack down on dangerous fake news, it's already ensnaring older users who are simply trying to stay connected or share what they believe is helpful advice. Seniors, who are often more trusting of forwarded messages or outdated medical posts, are now facing warnings, takedowns, and even fines for unintentionally breaking the rules. One recent example involved a retired teacher in Norfolk who shared a widely circulated Facebook post about NHS prescription changes. Although the information was from 2022 and no longer accurate, she was flagged by automated content filters and received a warning under the new policy. She didn't write the post, didn't profit from it, and had no clue it violated any law. But that didn't matter. The system treats reposts, shares, and forwarded content the same as original misinformation, leaving many older users vulnerable to punishment without understanding the risks. What makes this law especially risky for seniors is the lack of clear guidance on what's allowed. Most rely on word of mouth or familiar sources and may not realize that some health tips, political memes, or even personal opinions could fall under scrutiny. The safest approach is to avoid sharing any news, health advice, or legal content unless it comes from an official government or NHS source. And if in doubt, ask someone younger to help verify it before clicking share. Because in today's digital landscape, a harmless post could suddenly turn into a legal problem, and ignorance, unfortunately, is no longer a defense. Number 4. Refusing a smart meter now comes at a cost. The quiet rollout of mandatory smart meters has now become a legal issue, especially for elderly homeowners. As of January 2026, refusing a smart meter installation can result in automatic energy surcharges, with some households already reporting extra charges of up to £12 per month. That's over £140 a year. While energy companies claim this is to cover the cost of manual meter readings, critics argue it's a penalty disguised as a service fee, and many seniors are being targeted simply for holding on to their traditional meters. The problem is deeper than just money. A large number of seniors have avoided smart meters out of genuine concern, whether it's about radiation fears, privacy issues, or just not wanting to deal with unfamiliar technology. Some have even been misinformed by installers or confused by contradictory letters. But under the new regulations, declining without a medical exemption or documented reason could lead to penalties, and some providers have already threatened legal action for continued refusal. The solution isn't easy, but it's crucial. Seniors who are uncomfortable with a standard smart meter can request a non-transmitting version or ask for assistance in understanding the device's safety. Family members should step in to help schedule installations and ensure any exemptions are formally submitted in writing. What was once a personal choice is now being enforced by law, and those who ignore the letters, delay appointments, or simply say no might soon find themselves paying more, or worse, flagged as uncooperative. With smart meters becoming a legal requirement, staying informed is the only way to avoid unwanted bills and pressure from providers. Number 5. Cash payments over £500 now illegal. A major shift in the UK's effort to combat money laundering and tax evasion has landed hard on an unexpected group, law-abiding seniors who still prefer to deal in cash. As of January 2026, it is now illegal to make cash payments exceeding £500 for goods or services. This applies even to completely legitimate transactions like paying a local handyman, buying second-hand furniture, or helping a grandchild with car repairs. While the law is aimed at cracking down on criminal finance, it's unintentionally putting older generations at serious legal risk. Many elderly people grew up using cash as their primary form of payment and feel more secure avoiding bank cards and online transfers. But under the new legislation, any cash transaction over the £500 threshold could trigger an investigation, and both parties involved may be questioned, or worse, fined. The law doesn't just apply to businesses, either. Even private transactions between individuals are now being monitored more closely through bank deposit patterns, complaints, or anonymous reports. A 79-year-old in Essex was recently warned after paying a decorator in cash, completely unaware he had broken the law. For seniors, this change is more than inconvenient. It's a cultural and practical shock. Those who don't use online banking may struggle to find a way around it, and misunderstandings could easily lead to penalties. The best move now is to shift to safer payment methods like bank transfers, checks, or using debit cards, especially for larger purchases. And if a service provider insists on cash, be cautious. It could signal non-compliance on their end too. Sadly, sticking with the old way of doing things might now result in fines, frozen accounts, or even legal notices. It's no longer just about preference. It's about staying on the right side of the law. Before we dive into the next law, let us know in the comments. Do you think these changes are fair, or are they going too far? We read every single one. And if you're finding this eye-opening, support our work by subscribing. It's just one click, but it means the world to us. Number 6. Free bus travel hours cut back. A quiet but disruptive change rolled out in early January 2026 has caused confusion, and in some cases, legal issues, for older passengers who rely on public transport. Several councils across the UK have restricted the use of free bus passes, limiting them to off-peak hours only. In many regions, this now means travel before 9:30 a.m. is no longer free, even for those over 65. While the aim is to ease congestion during rush hour, the sudden enforcement has left many seniors caught off guard, with some even fined or refused entry when attempting early morning travel. For older adults heading to early hospital appointments, caring duties, or part-time work, this is more than a minor inconvenience. It's a serious disruption to their daily life. A 70-year-old man in Manchester was issued a warning after boarding a 9:15 a.m. bus using his older person's pass, unaware that the rules had changed in his area. Many are unaware that the new hours vary by region, and local councils aren't always doing a great job of communicating the updates. The lack of clear signage on buses and inconsistent information online only add to the confusion, especially for those who don't use smartphones or social media. The safest move now is to check with your local council's transport office or website for the exact terms of your bus pass. If you must travel early for a medical reason, some councils offer exemption letters, but these must often be requested in advance. It's also a good idea to carry a contactless card or small change in case you're denied free travel. This policy shift may seem small on paper, but in practice, it's creating real barriers, and in some cases, turning innocent riders into accidental offenders. Number 7. Renting out a spare room can trigger investigations. In 2026, a rising number of older homeowners looking to earn a little extra income by renting out a spare room are finding themselves under investigation by HMRC, often without even realizing they've done anything wrong. Thanks to new tax monitoring systems introduced in January, the government is now automatically flagging unreported rental income, even from informal agreements or family arrangements. While the rent-a-room scheme still allows up to £7,500 per year tax-free, failing to register or declare the arrangement can now be treated as tax evasion. This shift is especially problematic for seniors who may be renting to students, lodgers, or even a carer on a casual basis, without drawing up formal contracts or filing tax forms. Many assume that if the tenant is paying in cash or if the amount is modest, there's no need to report it. But under the new system, patterns like regular bank deposits or energy usage changes can trigger automated alerts. One elderly woman in Bristol was recently sent a notice demanding back taxes after letting her nephew stay in exchange for help with the bills, something she didn't realize counted as income. To stay safe, it's vital that anyone renting out space, even just a room in their home, knows the current tax rules. If you're earning over £625 a month from a lodger, you must declare it to HMRC, even if you believe it falls under the tax-free allowance. It's also wise to keep basic written agreements, and if unsure, seek help from Citizens Advice or local tax advisor. What was once a friendly or informal arrangement can now carry real legal risks, and failing to declare even small amounts could lead to letters, fines, or unexpected tax bills. Number 8. Noise complaints now trigger instant fines. As of January 2026, new public disturbance regulations have made it easier than ever for neighbors to report noise, and seniors hosting family gatherings or community events are being hit the hardest. Local councils across the UK have adopted smart monitoring systems and mobile apps that allow residents to instantly report loud activity, which is then measured against updated decibel limits. If the noise is deemed excessive, even if it's just music, chatter, or a birthday toast, fines can be issued automatically, without a formal warning. For many older adults who frequently host bingo nights, Sunday lunches, or community club meetups, this law is proving confusing and harsh. A 74-year-old woman in Sheffield received a £200 fine after her grandson's birthday party ran slightly over 8 p.m., with neighbors complaining via a council app. No one knocked on her door. No warning was given. The fine arrived a week later in the post. With new enforcement tech doing most of the work, even minor infractions can lead to real legal consequences before people realize they've crossed a line. The challenge is that most seniors aren't aware of these updated noise thresholds, nor do they know that quiet hours now start earlier in some areas, as early as 7:30 p.m. in residential zones. And while the law intends to promote peace in crowded communities, it's becoming a tool for personal disputes and over-policing. To stay safe, seniors should check with their local council about permitted noise levels and curfews, especially if planning an event. Keeping doors and windows closed during parties, avoiding outdoor speakers, and wrapping up early can help avoid unwanted penalties. Because now, what used to be a joyful evening with loved ones could easily end with a fine and a warning on your record. Number 9. Streaming account sharing is now illegal. One of the most surprising legal changes of 2026 affects something many families have been doing for years without a second thought: sharing streaming service passwords. Under the UK's updated digital copyright laws, officially enforced in January, it is now illegal to share paid streaming accounts like Netflix, Amazon Prime, or Disney Plus with people outside your household. What used to be seen as a harmless favor, like giving your grandkids access to your shows, can now lead to account suspensions, fines, or even legal notices from providers. Many older users are being caught out because they don't realize what counts as outside the household. A senior couple in Kent recently received a formal warning after their login was traced to a different city, where their daughter used it to watch documentaries. While it wasn't done for profit, the streaming company flagged the activity under the new rules and issued a notice of violation. With companies now cooperating with regulators and using advanced tracking tools, these violations are being taken seriously, and often without any warning. Seniors need to know that even sharing a password with family members who don't live with them now breaks the law. The safest course of action is to switch to a family plan, if available, which allows multiple users legally under one account. If that's not an option, it's best to keep the account for personal use only. It might feel unfair, especially when you've already paid, but this new rule is about protecting digital content rights, and it's being enforced. Without realizing it, a simple act of kindness like letting a grandchild use your login could land you in legal trouble. It's no longer just about streaming. It's about digital responsibility. Number 10. Loitering and protesting now heavily restricted. In one of the most controversial legal updates of 2026, the UK government has introduced stricter laws on loitering in public assembly, making it easier for police to disperse or penalize even peaceful gatherings. What's most alarming is how these new powers are being applied, not just to large protests, but also to small groups of elderly citizens meeting in public areas. Under the revised Public Order Act, anyone who remains in a public space without clear purpose or potentially disruptive presence can now be asked to leave, and refusal can lead to arrest or fines. This has already affected seniors involved in community advocacy or social movements. In Manchester, a 70-year-old retired nurse was briefly detained after joining a silent protest outside a local hospital. She wasn't holding signs or chanting, just standing with others in quiet support. But under the new law, police argued the group had not obtained formal permission, and because they stayed beyond the designated time, they were considered in breach. This kind of incident is becoming more common, especially as older adults become more vocal about issues like healthcare, pensions, and housing. The danger here is that many seniors don't realize their regular activities might now fall under unauthorized assembly or loitering, especially in public places like shopping centers, parks, or outside council buildings. To avoid legal trouble, it's important to check local bylaws, get permits for any kind of gathering, and keep interactions with law enforcement calm and respectful. If you're attending a protest or even a memorial gathering, make sure it's properly registered. Because under these new rules, being in the wrong place for too long, even peacefully, can now be enough to make you a target of the law. So, there you have it. 10 new laws quietly reshaping life for older adults in the UK, many of which come with harsh penalties and little warning. What's clear from all of this is that the world is changing fast, digitally, socially, and legally, and many of these changes are leaving seniors behind. From simply watching TV or catching a bus, to hosting a family gathering or sharing a password, things that once felt normal are now being regulated more strictly than ever before. But here's the most important takeaway. These laws aren't just legal updates. They're wake-up calls. If you're a senior, or you care for someone who is, it's time to take a closer look at the small actions that could have unexpected legal consequences. Staying informed, asking questions, and getting a little support with technology or paperwork could be the difference between staying safe or accidentally stepping into trouble. Many of these laws weren't designed to target older adults, but they are certainly affecting them the most. Let's not wait until fines arrive, warnings are issued, or rights are quietly taken away. Share this video with someone who might need to hear it. Talk to your friends, your neighbors, and your family. Because being caught out by a law you didn't know about doesn't make you a criminal, but it could still leave you treated like one. And knowledge, that's your best defense. If any of these laws shocked you, we want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let us know which one surprised you the most, or if you've already seen someone affected. And if you appreciate the effort we put into digging up these hidden changes, please support us. Just hit that subscribe button. It's one click, but it helps us keep creating content that truly matters.